different topics. But when it comes down to it, buyer wise, I am buyer heavy. I like buyers. I like sellers too. We have over 20 listings right now. So obviously I do like the listing side as well. But buyers, I feel like what's cool about buyers is you have more control over them. So for example, you're in control if that buyer buys a house. With listings, you are in control, but the thing is you are working with someone who is basically, they can be stubborn, hard-headed regarding price. You have control, but there is someone who has a say so. When it comes down to buyer, you're the buyer's guidance, and therefore you control how many houses they see. You control if they see the right house and if they buy it or not, right? Um, I'm gonna share my screen right now, so let's go ahead and do that. 1 second. Let's see if let's go to screen number 2. There it is. Share. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Everyone can see my screen. Cool. So check this out. We're going to go ahead and put this here. Okay. Okay. That's fine. So here is my screen. And the first thing that I want to talk about is ALM. I use ALM a lot. I train my team on ALM. I don't like major scripts. I don't make my team study like word by word scripts, etc. I kind of use a structure. And ALM to us is a very big structure. Who here has heard of ALM before? Has anybody heard of ALM before? ALM is a structure. It's kind of like a script, but it's more of a structure. So ALM goes based upon appointment, location, motivation. I'm going to start off with the conversation with a buyer, right? When you first have a conversation with a buyer, what's your structure like? What's your flow like? I tell people that, and my agents, that you have to have appointments. Appointments is the biggest thing, right? The reason why is because you want to get face to face with that client. So what's crazy about realtors is they'll go meet with a client at a Starbucks, but won't go meet with a client at a house, right? Because they feel like they have to be pre-approved first or something of that nature. In my opinion, I recommend just meeting the client at the house right off the bat. The reason why is because you're able to go ahead and give them what they want, right? They're looking to buy a house, so put them in a house and have that consultation. Now you're giving them the emotion of being in a house, right? ALM is basically based upon creating an appointment, asking about location and motivation. There's no particular script, there's no particular format, there's no particular words, but your structure should go based upon, like, for example, hey, Miss Buyer, my name is Charlie with Beyond Estates, and I wanted to go ahead and see that I see here that you're looking at this property on 123 Main Street. Did you want to see it in person? Right off the bat, right? A lot of other realtors, they go into the mix of, hey, Mrs. Buyer, I see you're looking at 123 Main Street. What's up with this property? Are you pre-approved? Do you have an agent? And they go into these questions that these buyers don't really have answers to yet, right? But in my opinion, you should go make an appointment right away. When you make the appointment, now you're going to set yourself up to meet with this person. And now you're the first person that they meet. And now they feel comfortable because they've seen you in person. You're a real person. You're not a scam. You're not someone who's just online. It's not nothing crazy. Okay. But in the conversation, you set up the appointment. Okay, great. Awesome. 123 Main Street. You want to see it in person? Okay, sounds good. I'll go ahead and put you in. Is this the only area that you're looking at? Do you have any other locations in mind? That's the location question, right? Oh yeah, Palmdale, Lancaster, LA, whatever it is. Awesome. What caught your eye on this property? What's catching your eye on this 3-bedroom, 2-bath property? Find the motivation, right? When you find the motivation, you want to go ahead and write that down. As you're doing the ALM framework, I tell folks it's always good to write detailed notes. What's crazy about a lot of realtors is they'll go ahead and put like a note. For example, um, let's just say this is like your CRM and that's the client's name, and you put a note like wants to see 3-bed, 2-bath, max 500K. The problem is you're writing notes down, but it's not as detailed. So I tell folks, as you're having this ALM conversation, let's write detailed notes about the buyer. When you're asking for motivation, oh, okay, is there a reason why you're in Palmdale? Is there a school that we have to be nearby? Is there a family member that we want to be nearby? Oh yeah, my grandma lives on this street and she babysits my kids, so being 5 minutes away means a lot. Now you should write that down. wants a house within 5 minutes from grandma who babysits. Now, when you call this person again in the future or follow up, you have more detailed notes, and now you can get more personal. So, hey, Miss Buyer, we spoke last week about your 3 bedroom, 2 bath search. I know that we want to be next to the grandma because of the babysitting. Let's go ahead and find some homes. I found some for you. What's your grandma's address? Let me go ahead and do a search within a 0.5 mile radius and see what's nearby. Now you, as the realtor for that buyer, are giving much more value. Not just that, you're meeting their needs a lot more. Instead of just writing wants a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, max 500K. She gave you all this info, but all you put is this. My opinion, of course, you should add much more detail so your follow-up becomes much more meaningful. And it's not like just, hey, Miss Buyer, just following up regarding our previous phone call. Here's some 3 bedroom, 2 baths home. Or you can say, hey, Miss Buyer, regarding our previous phone call, you were looking at a 3 bedroom, 2 bath home near this address. And check this out. Here's a link of some more houses near grandma's house. And I think these three make a lot of sense. They're about a 10-minute walk max. So if you're not home, the kids can just walk there. And now they feel like you're there for their needs. So ALM with detailed notes on every buyer phone call should be mandatory. What's cool about ALM is it's not too detailed, it's not too stressful, right? So when you're having this conversation with a buyer, you're making it simple. Appointment, location, motivation. And here's some examples of like questions. So for example, hi, contact name. This is Charlie with your brokerage. I see you inquired about this property here. Blah, blah, blah. And then here's the appointment section. When are you available to go look at it? When can you go ahead and see this property in person? And the point of it is you created that appointment. That's it. From there, you ask about location, motivation, you write your notes down. That's a really good conversation to have. Okay. Do we get that? Does that make sense to everyone? I can just see heads nods or
Yes,
a quick thumbs
absolutely.
up, hands up, whatever it is. Cool. The point of that is now you're going to set yourself up to meet with this client in person. You have detailed notes. When you follow up, it's not just like a standard cold caller following up and checking in. Now you can see that this lady has kids. You can check on the kids. Hey, how's the kids doing? Great. How's school for them? Awesome. Hey, check out these homes. It becomes more personal. Okay. So I wanted to start off with that. I'm kind of going down the list as if you're meeting, talking to a buyer, then meeting with the buyer, so on and so forth. Okay. The next thing, of course, when you have all this set up and you make the appointment, is to go ahead and have a good buyer consultation. Especially with this new NAR settlement, you have to have a buyer consultation. A buyer consultation is very important because now your buyer consultations are going to be like listing consultations. You have to sell yourself. You have to have a value proposition. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys my buyer consultation. I don't usually do this, but for the winner circle, I'll go ahead and do it. This is my buyer's guide, my personal buyer's guide. Okay. And this is how it was set up. And I make it short and simple. It has enough pages to make it understandable, but not too much. And it looks friendly, just like how Apple does it, how all these big companies, they make things user friendly. And that's how you want your consultation to be. You don't want it to be too complicated, too intricate, too detailed. Even cursive, like for example, using cursive words because you want to be fancy is actually not the best idea because people don't know how to read cursive, right? So putting it in like plain writing, bold letters, make it easy to read, understandable, the client is going to gravitate towards you, just like how we all gravitate towards iPhone for that reason, right? It's user friendly, the apps look good, it's simple, square, angles, it's not too crazy. Okay. So here's my buyer's consultation. And the reason why I have it like this set up is because I put different things in here to make the buyer understand why they have to use us. Okay. So here's the first page. The first page is a 4-minute video with a QR code. Okay. It has a QR code for a 4-minute video that explains the whole process. For people who want to see the 4-minute video, I'm not going to play it in its entirety, but this is the video here. And the reason why I do this is because you have to understand buyers want things to be easy. You can sit there and explain the process yourself, or you can have, because there's different learners, right? Some buyers are visual learners, some buyers are reading learners, some buyers are video learners. So you want to have everything in your buyer's guide to go ahead and match whoever is reading it, right? So this here is for the person who likes to watch videos. On the first page, they scan the QR code and then they get a small video like this. Can you guys hear it? No? Okay, maybe if I just share
No.
the tab, that's why. Okay, one sec. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna share again, but with just that tab so I can share the audio. One sec. So here it is. Share sound, share. Okay.
Right into the home buying process. Whether
Can we hear it? Good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna play this whole thing, but I'm gonna give you guys like little mini clips of it to give you an idea of what to do. And if you guys want where I got this video from, I can have the same person do it for you. Just hit me up and we'll connect you guys. But here's kind of what this video entails.
you're a first-time buyer or have experience purchasing before, I will explain the process smoothly and thoroughly for a great understanding. Feel free to reach out to Charlie with any questions you may have after my introduction. So you're thinking about buying a home. There are a lot of people involved in the home buying process. You should be familiar with real estate agents, lenders, escrows, inspectors, and notary, as they will all play a role in your home purchase. So let's talk a little bit about what these people do. You're going to want to find a real estate agent who's a realtor, because not all agents are realtors. Realtors have a higher standard they are required to follow. Charlie is a realtor.
So as you can see, I'm promoting why they should use me in this video, but it's not me saying it, it's a video saying it. Now they're hearing it from a different source, right? And then now you're telling them why they should work with a realtor and why you are a realtor and why they should go with you. Charlie is a realtor.
What's the
Not
purpose
all
of
agents are
Charlie?
realtors.
Charlie is going to research the right properties for you, set up in-person home tours, heavily negotiate prices, contract terms, and take the time to answer any questions you may have. As a buyer, you'll want to have a different agent than the one who represents the seller. With your
Right off the bat, I explained why they should not ever go to the seller's agent in this video, right? In the first minute and a half. And that's where you can hook them again. So this whole video has hooks every 30, 45 seconds of why they should use Charlie. And it's only 4 minutes long. And it explains the whole process of buying a house worth $500,000 plus more in 4 minutes with a cartoon. What am I doing? The iPhone strategy, making it easy, making it simple, right? You can easily get this video done, even if you go on Fiverr and find those guys who freelancing, easily can make a video for you like this. That's actually where I met my guy, but this video here brought me so much attention. Buyers respected it and they understood it. And after I meet them at the house and finish my consultation, I tell them, hey, scan this video when you're in the car driving home. They just met me in person. Now they're watching a video about me. This is all just adding to why they should use you as a realtor, right?
your own representation, you'll
Well,
know your realtor is working pre-approval letter, so you can then start house hunting. Once you and your realtor have found the perfect home and you make an offer that the seller accepts, escrow opens. It's then time for your EMD, earnest money deposit, usually 1 to 3% of your purchase price, which is due in the first 3 days of escrow and goes towards your down payment when escrow closes. The escrow company will
okay, so as you can see, it's all educating about the process. So imagine me as a realtor, you're with your client, you just met your client, you didn't give them this video, no buyer consultation, and then they met with me at an open house and I gave them this video, the consultation, etc. Who are they going to go with? Most likely, right? When you're educating the buyer, you become a source of education. They trust you more, okay? So this is a small idea of what I do. And that's just the first page. Just on the first page, they get this video. It's a buyer's guide. And as you can see, I don't use the word consultation. I'll say that word, but I don't use it. The reason why is because consultation seems too serious. You scare a buyer sometimes. People have consultations with therapists. They have consultations with doctors. So these things scare people. They have consultations with dentists. You say, here's a buyer's guide for you. A buyer's guide, it's more welcoming. It's more easier to digest compared to saying buyer consultation, okay? They go ahead and see this. There's the QR code to that video. Here's my contact information, right? I put my awards here just so that they can kind of see, right? Here's my information. We are best of Zillow on Zillow as well, so I put that badge there. I'm adding things to comfort the buyer, right? Introduction to our team. So for example, I have a staff. I have a staff. My staff, I introduce them on the page. So let's just say one of my admins or my TC calls them, they can see faces. That's adding comfort to your clients. Okay. I add this page to show them how hard the buying process is, right? So for example, this looks complicated. You want to show the buyers how complicated it is to help you buy a house, right? But when you show that, you tell them, hey, here's what happens when you buy a house. Here's all the small steps that happen. Here's kind of a chart of what happens, what we have to do to make your transaction go through. But we try to make it as easy as this for you. What you're doing now is you're showing them that, hey, me as your guidance is going to be this complicated for me, but I'm going to make it as easy as this for you, which is meet with agent, get pre-approved, you start house shopping, you make an offer. When you're in escrow, you're under contract, and then we have our inspection and appraisal. Once those are complete, then you get your keys. Boom, done deal, right? In these scenarios, you have to understand when you're talking to buyers about what you can do for them, you want to always use the words our people. So for example, inspection and appraisal. I always, when I get to this page, I tell them, hey, and by the way, if you use my inspector, he'll check the house from A to Z. He'll check every single inch of the house, every outlet. He'll go into the attic. He'll go on the roof. I don't know who else you can use that can do that, but with my inspector, that's what he does. So I recommend using my inspector. You just gave them another reason why they should use you as a buyer's agent. Does it make sense? These small things that you go ahead and implement in your consultations, now you're making yourself stand out to the buyer. Because why? Charlie has a really good inspector, he said. Even if I don't like Charlie, I have to use him because his inspector checks the house from A to Z. For example, right? That's not going to be the case, of course. Everyone likes me. But the point is, you want to throw in little nuggets of why they should use you. So, hey, buyer, right now, you met with an agent. The next step is getting pre-approved. If you're already pre-approved, then let's start house shopping. I recommend we look at houses all the way. Even if you tell me that you love this first house, I still want you to look at other houses to make sure that you're comfortable with this house. Because me as an agent, I don't want you just to jump on the first house that you see. Emotion gets involved. You're getting happy. If this is the one, great. But let's go look at other options anyway, so I can confirm that this is the one for you. When you do that, what are you doing? You're giving reassurance to the buyer. Oh, this guy is just not here for a sale. He's actually someone who's helping me. You want to do what other agents are not going to do. So if they do talk to somebody else, you stand out, right? Compared to a different agent who'll say, oh yeah, no problems. Go ahead and write the offer, full price, etc., etc. But then they hear Charlie say, hey, that's fine. If it's the one, no problem. I'll call the listing agent. We'll put a pause on offers. We'll tell them, hey, we're very interested. Give us a day for offers. Let's meet tomorrow morning and look at 3 more houses at least, right? Now you're creating comfort for the buyer. By the way, once you find the house that you want, we're going to make an offer. And if the offer gets accepted, we're going to go under contract. When you're under contract, we have 2 things, inspection and appraisal. My inspector, Mr. Buyer, my inspector is amazing, by the way. He checks everything from A to Z. I mean, this guy will check every inch of the house. I feel like even all the sellers that I've used this inspector with, they hate him because he's so good. So if I recommend using my inspector, if you have your own, that's fine. I can't guarantee anything, but my inspector will check every single inch of the house, from the attic to the roof to the foundation to the outside. Even if the sidewalk has a crack, he'll call it out. Okay. Now they feel comfortable. Oh, wow, we need an inspector like that. I didn't even realize that we should get an inspector, but man, Charlie has a point, right? So now I just threw in a nugget of why they should use me as their agent because I have these resources that they can utilize. Now, appraisal. I always mention this to buyers because we have a problem with this. All realtors have a problem with this. I tell buyers, plus we have an appraisal. You'll never overpay for a house. There's always someone that's going to be there to make sure that the house is worth what you're paying. And if it's not, they will come in lower. And if it comes in lower, you will only pay what the appraisal says. Okay. Now you're educating them. Done deal. Once all that is done, buyer, and everything is agreed upon, inspection went well, appraisal went well, we went ahead and found a solution to whatever repairs popped up. Once all that is complete, we get the keys. Very simple. That's that page. By the way, I am making it longer for you guys just so you can understand more. But through buyers, I kind of skim through this, not skim through it, but I go through it in a fast pace, but make it easy for them. I don't make it this complicated, right? But first, get pre-approved. You want to tell them about loans, of course. You first get pre-approved. Here's different loan types. And then when I have this booklet printed out, obviously, right? So when this booklet is printed out, I'm going through it with them by page. So when I get to this page, I fold it for them. I say, hey, by the way, these are really important questions to ask your lender. I recommend having this page open anytime that you talk to a lender. What type of home loans do you offer? What will my interest rate and annual interest rates be? Do I qualify for any special programs or discounts? What's my estimated closing cost? What's my monthly payment estimate? And the point of that is when you go over this with that buyer, what are you doing? You're standing in a place of guidance now. So now, who's ever had where they've had a buyer and then a lender calls them and says, hey, I think they're working with somebody else as well. Or, hey, I think your buyer is submitting with somebody else. Or you call the lender and say, hey, this other realtor is also talking for this client, right? What happens is the reason why is because when a buyer talks to a lender, the lender comes in a place of guidance because they're talking about finances. So then they compare the realtor. When you first meet with the buyer and give them all this, now you come from the place of guidance, and then you want them to compare the lenders, not you as the agent. Okay, so how does that make sense? You go ahead and fold this page for them, go over the questions, say, hey, I really recommend that you have this page open when you're talking to lenders. And here's a few lenders that I recommend, right? I don't just give them one lender. I give them multiple lenders to compare. I tell them, hey, buyer, I buy multiple properties. I'm a home buyer myself. I actually, what's funny is a lot of realtors are not even homeowners, but they tell you how to buy a house. I'm actually a homeowner and I buy multiple properties and I have 5 best friends who are lenders, but I still compare all of them because you never know who has the better program during this month, etc. So I recommend comparing as many lenders as you can. And here's a list of trusted lenders that I work with, that I use myself. Now you put yourself in a place of guidance, and guess who they're comparing? Not you, but the lenders. And what does that do? That makes you, of course, look better, of course. Secondly, you're putting yourself on top of the food chain for them. So now they're coming to you for advice regarding who they should work with as a lender, right? That's a very important tactic. And then once that's done, by the way, these are all cell phone numbers, and these are all real lenders that I trust. So I have them call the lenders, go over it, and hopefully get pre-approved if they're not pre-approved. Then when this page is done, this page talks about when you're in escrow. Now I go into detail about the inspector and the appraisal, right? Here's where I say you have to, when you first open escrow, there's a small deposit, it's 1 to 3%. Once that happens, we have a home inspector come out. If anything pops up, we renegotiate if necessary. Mr. Buyer, if anything pops up, I usually recommend having credit being given to us. The reason why is because having a seller fix something, they might Mickey Mouse it. If they give you credit, at least you're in control of your repair. What are you doing? You're giving them advice, education, you're guiding them. When you're saying stuff like this, they're in their head, all you're doing is confirming why they should use you, right? Because you're telling them things that make sense. And then when it makes sense to them, they're obviously feeling comfortable. Okay. Once everything gets agreed upon, we have the mortgage application, that's with the lender, and then we have the appraisal that comes out. Remember, buyer, like I said before, you never overpay for a house. So even if the house is 700,000 and you offered 1 million because you're crazy, it doesn't mean that you're going to pay 1 million, right? Because there is an appraisal intact, and the bank cares about their money more than you because they don't want you to overpay for a house and you stop paying your payment and they're stuck with the house underwater. So don't worry if we ever love a house so much and I tell you let's over offer, let's place an offer higher just to get you in the door, doesn't mean that you're going to overpay for a house. So no matter what you offer, you'll never overpay. You making that clear when the offer stage comes, you're not struggling with the buyer who's saying offer 60K less, offer 50K less, etc., when there's 5 offers on the house. Okay? So that's that page for you. What not to do when you're buying a house. Don't buy or lease a car. Don't change jobs. Don't miss any payments. Here, that's the whole thing of educating your buyer again, right? No one else is doing this stuff. And then what you want to do is also make clear of what's already known, right? So what's funny is a lot of realtors don't do this. But for example, I go ahead and exhaust the fact that we do certain things that maybe I don't do personally, but escrow does. So title insurance, home insurance, final walkthroughs. So I told the buyer, hey, by the way, working with me, I make sure that you get title insurance. Title insurance happens with every transaction. I'm not lying, right? But the point is, I'm making it clear that I make sure that you get title insurance, which means when you buy a house with me, you will get a clear title guaranteed because we're going to have title insurance, right? Now, what are you doing? You're guaranteeing things. That's already a fact. You're not lying. It's happening. But the point is, you sharing that, you're making it known. And they might not know that you do that or that escrow does that. But you stating that you make sure it's done, now they feel comfortable. Oh, shoot, I must have to go with Charlie because, I mean, he does all this stuff, title insurance, final walkthrough, stuff like that. Even though it's being done regardless, you're making it clear, you're making it obvious. Okay. So you say stuff like that. Hey, by the way, Mr. Buyer, with me, not many realtors do this, but I do a final walkthrough 24 hours before you get your keys. And the reason why is because I would hate for you to get a house that just got broken into a day before you get your keys. Imagine that. But with us, 24 hours before you enter the house and get your keys, I check the property, me and you, we go make sure everything is normal. Not many people do that. It's not a thing that people do. Not many realtors do that. I do that for you. Boom. That's a different nugget. Another reason why you should use me as your realtor. Okay. Here's the title and home insurance. Hey, Mr. Buyer, we also look for the best home insurance companies. A lot of other realtors just have the lender go ahead and pick a home insurance company. We actually compare home insurances for you to make sure you get the best quote possible. Okay. And then we also get you title insurance. Title insurance is very important. Wouldn't you hate to buy a house that has a lien on it? We get you title insurance for that reason, right? It's not us paying for it, but escrow, it's obviously there, right? Every transaction usually has title insurance. Why not share with the buyer that it's happening for them? And maybe you're the cause, which you are. As a realtor, you're checking, as you should be, if your client is getting the good title insurance or whatnot. You disclosing it and making it obvious, making it a thing, makes you look better because not every other realtor, after they meet with you and have this consultation, and if they go to an open house and meet somebody else, you're golden still because they're not going to say any of this stuff, but you are, right? Of course, you throw in some testimonials, your whatever your value proposition is, your incentives, and then some some more like for example results. You want to show results. So one big thing is as a realtor and you're servicing a client, you want to show your results. So for example, if you as a person got into a car accident and then you need an attorney, are you going to look for attorneys who have no results or have results? So what you have to do is show results so then you can go ahead and stand out above the crowd. Hey, by the way, Mr. Buyer, here's our results. This buyer here, we got him this house, 20K under asking and 12K back in closing cost credit. This buyer here, we got him a grant program with a zero down program and bought the house with zero money down. Only he paid for as an inspection for $300, right? So you show the results, just like an attorney would, a lawyer would, just like you would look for if you're looking for an attorney or for a lawyer, right? Is results. You show off the results. And by the way, Mr. Buyer, here's my profile. I do recommend every agent to have a Zillow profile or a Realtor.com profile. These are trusted websites. You put that and get reviews. You have to have reviews. So something about an agent, a realtor, is if you don't have reviews or if you're not building your profile on any of these websites with reviews, then you're not going to get any business because people look you up and that's facts. Like there's no other way about it. If you're looking for a lawyer, what are you going to do? Google lawyers near me for accidents and see who has what? The most reviews, the best reviews, and the best results. Same thing with buyers and sellers. They're going to look for you and try to find the best results. A seller is going to look up top listing agents near me or top realtors near me. They're going to see who has the most results and the most reviews and the best reviews. You have to start building that. You are a business that people look up. So with that being said, I put that in the consultation. Hey, Mr. Buyer, by the way, at this time, we sold over 108 houses in the past 12 months. I have over 65 five-star reviews. Obviously, I'm doing something right. So I recommend that we go ahead and work together. I want to make you another happy family, and that's what we're here for. Okay? You go ahead and show them we're 5 stars on all platforms, and that's what we're here for. The consultation officially ends with gratitude and safetyness, right? They feel safe. They feel comfortable now. Okay, Charlie gave me all this amazing info, all this amazing stuff, and he just showed me that he's a real person. Over 65-star reviews. That's not a joke. Charlie is on top of it, right? Now they go meet somebody else who's just like, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah from ABC Realty. Here's the house. You liked it? No, great, no problem. I'll text you some more tomorrow, right? But with me, I'm doing all this. Who stands out more? Me, obviously. So that's the consultation. I recommend, I was hoping you guys are taking notes, of course, so you guys can hopefully do this with your own consultations. But this is like literally my buyer consultation that I used to get over 100 deals in the past 12 months, right? Everyone still on board? Does everyone feel good? Is everyone on track? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? How are we feeling?
This was very, very informative. We have our own, of course, buyer consultation that has taken us, like many of everybody, years to perfect. And to this day, we find ourselves still perfecting it. And one of the things that stood out, obviously, in the beginning was the video. I love that idea. Because like you said, it's someone else vouching for you, like, even if it's AI or virtual or whatever that is, it's not you talking about yourself, which that's really what we're doing during the entire buyer consultation. And then it was also you actually putting your list of vendors, like all the lenders information, because for us, we have like, okay, this is the team you're going to work with. We have our lender, our TC, but we don't have their names because we think to ourselves, well, sometimes buyers will bring their own lenders, or you know, just different cases. So we've always thought to not do that. But I think that it gives our vendor partners more credibility also if we have them listed there. So I
Exactly.
really like.
Exactly. Thank you, Cherish, for notating that. Yeah, definitely. And that's the point. I mean, this consultation works great. I've compared with other consultations. If you have your own consultation, I'm not saying change it, but add these things. You can add certain things. You can make it better. And there's certain psychological things. So I went in psychologically with this stuff. And the reason why, like, for example, putting buyer's guide instead of consultation makes it much more friendly. As simple as that. One word on the cover page can make a difference. Consultation, people have consultations with scary things in life. They have a consultation with their therapist, doctor, etc. You want to think way ahead of the box, way ahead of the game. Like think deep, deep, deep on what you say, your language, your body language, to make people feel comfortable to go with you, because they have to feel comfortable. They're buying a house with you. They're trusting you with 500,000 plus, most likely, with all these prices, to go ahead and purchase a property through you. We get desanitized. We don't understand that. We get desanitized. We get used to it. Oh, it's another buyer. But you have to understand, this person is trusting you with probably the biggest thing in their life. They're probably crying about it at home. They're on Zillow, Realtor.com, on houses, stressing about payments, and you're the guy that they're trusting, or the girl that they're trusting. Okay. We have a little bit more left. I'm gonna just go over some quick things. One other thing that I recommend printing out is this right here. So for example, with this new NAR settlement, we have to show why we are very important. I print this out and bring it to every buyer consultation. 105 more ways why agents are important, right? And they're worth every penny of their compensation. This packet, you say, hey, here's this packet. Here's 105 things that we have to do to make this transaction secure for you. And it's only 8 pages long. You buy some cheap paper, print it out. Every consultation, you'll have your consultation that I just went through, plus this attached to it in a folder. And this talks about 105 different reasons why they should use you as a realtor, right? Not use you as a realtor, but why they should even have a realtor in the first place. Not why they should use Charlie, but why someone should be by their side and they shouldn't go to the listing agent by themselves, right? When you print this out, that's a really big game changer here too. So now you walk in with the consultation, you walk in with this packet, and here's one big thing that no one does, and I promise this one stands out the most. Everyone should really do this. I never share this, but I think I'm the only real estate team that does this, and it's really important. You have to bring a sample RPA with you, right? A sample RPA to your consultation. Why would you do that? Would you ever sign a 60-page document from an attorney that you've never seen in your face? It's just on DocuSign? No, you wouldn't. You'd feel weird. You might be, but like it's the weird feeling, right? You're feeling forced to sign something that you don't even know. It's all black and white, and it does not make sense to you. When you bring an RPA with you, a sample RPA to your consultation, now you go ahead and briefly skim through it, right? So let's go ahead and pull it up. I should have had this pulled up. But the point is, you briefly skim through it, and now you go ahead and show them why.
You go ahead and show
Sorry,
why.
guys, I'm hearing feedback. Is somebody unmuted? Are we good? Hello, hello?
There, sorry.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
We're good
I
to
muted
go. Cool. Yeah. And the point is, well, everyone knows what the RPA looks like, so I don't think I have to really pull it up. But the point is, you show the buyer, hey, by the way, Mr. Buyer, here's a sample RPA. And this sample RPA is just what you're going to sign in the future when you buy a house. I would hate for me just to email you a DocuSign of what you're going to go ahead and sign. I'd rather have give you one in person. So I'm just pulling one up real quick. I'd rather give you a sample in person just so when this time comes and you're going to sign an offer, we have an example in your face for you, okay? So here's what an RPA looks like. What you have to only worry about, Mr. Buyer, is these few pages here. This is where the offer price goes. Here's what the close of escrow days goes. And here's your EMD, your loan amount, seller's closing costs, contingencies, etc., reports, what stays, what leaves, any other terms, home warranty. And then after this, Mr. Buyer, it's all just disclosures. And all this here, to be honest with you, does not pertain to your house particularly. This is just explaining definitions to you. So when I send you this, all you have to worry about is these 3 pages. 1, 2, 3. That's it. And these 3 pages, section 1 is all numbers, section 2 is all contingencies, and section 3 is any reports, etc. What you did now is you showed the buyer, because don't forget, would you sign from an attorney or from a lawyer a 10, 20-page document that you don't even know what it says, what it's even going through, etc. But you going through it with the buyer, you're giving the buyer more comfort. You giving the most comfort, they're going to go for you because people like to be comfortable, right? They want to be comfortable. You want to give the most comfort to your buyer on that consultation as possible, okay? So that's one big gem that I recommend. You take the consultation, you take the 105 reasons why to hire an agent, and then you take the RPA sample with you. And you go over the RPA with them, you're going to be golden, okay? Besides that, who's ever watched like a Red Bull commercial? Like where Red Bull basically, mostly, you don't see their cans on their commercial. They're mostly just promoting the feeling of drinking Red Bull, right? So I recommend every agent, since Winner Circle is very social media based, I recommend every agent to create live testimonials for your buyers, right? When you're giving keys. And then what you want to do is put them together. So can you guys see? Let me see. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. Wait, did you guys see the packet that I was showing? Because I was only sharing one screen. Let me see.
Yes, we saw it.
We saw the 105 pages.
Okay, good.
105.
Okay, so one thing that I do recommend also, can you guys see here on the screen?
Where do you get the 105 reason?
Sorry?
Where do you get that 105 reasons why to hire a realtor from?
I'll drop the link in the chat.
It's in the chat.
You put it? Here, boom. I just put it in the chat. Okay. What do you guys see right now? YouTube?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and go here. Wait, let me see. Okay. So what did I do? I created a buyer testimonial montage, right? And basically, I share this with every consultation too, right? So, and I send this message out to every
Simplify
buyer.
your moving
Can you guys hear the
experience.
screen and see it? Yeah? All right, cool.
With the Mayflower personalized move portal. It's how
much. It was very easy. I really like that you were genuine when you called back from Zillow. And you did amazing. Thank you so much. I will definitely recommend it. Beautiful.
Amazing, you know, like it is the number one.
It was really good. It was really nice and helpful.
Experience working with Charlie was great.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. It's my dream.
So did everyone see that, hear that? The point of that is now it's like a Red Bull
Yes.
commercial, by the way. What Red Bull does, if you go type in here, like let's just type in Red Bull commercial. It's not like a Red Bull commercial because I'm not doing crazy stunts. But the point is I'm selling the emotion, right? The emotion of buying a property. When you buy a house through me, as you can see, you feel this. Red Bull, what do? When you drink a Red Bull, you feel like you can do stuff like this.
That was that moment right there.
Right? You feel like you see their logo, you see all that, but they don't show you like drinking Red Bull, right? But the point is they're selling the emotion of what you feel when you drink Red Bull. I'm doing the same thing with real estate. When you buy a house through me, this is what everyone feels, right? And when you show them this video or you send that video, what happens? You end up adding way more credibility, and then it's validation. Everyone goes for validation. When someone else approves it, they feel comfortable to go with it, right? With this video, it's over 20 people validating why they should use Charlie. My dream came true. It's the best thing ever. They want to feel that when they buy a house. So what happens? Let's use Charlie because people obviously feel like that when they use him, right? A testimonial live montage is what I recommend every agent to start working on. If you're giving keys, go make a video, make it a big deal. Get 10 videos when you're done after 10 keys, and then you put them all together, and then now you have your client testimonial montage, which you can send to everyone. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds of people talking nothing but greatness about me and why.
Charlie.
Me, yes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, there was
Okay.
a delay. I had a question.
Yeah.
Do you play this video during your consult? Like, I'm sorry, at like towards the end of your consultation, or do you send it to them after?
Yeah, I do both. So every text, by the way, here's like another cool tip, right? So I show it to them and then I text them after I'm done showing. I use Follow Up Boss, by the way, guys. Okay, I do trust that no one's gonna screenshot all my contacts. But let me go ahead and sign in real quick and kind of show you guys some cool stuff that I do too. I know we're gonna run. We have like 5 more minutes, and I'll open it up for Q&As. But for example, we'll just click here. I have a text template. It's after showing resources link. So every time I meet with the client, after I'm done, I send them this link, right? And this message. And what this message has is basically a whole bunch of resources. Add me on Zillow, save my contact, blah, blah, blah. And then my video as well, client testimonials, see? And then my YouTube channel. And I send this out, like find neighborhood schools, explore the neighborhood, home inspection checklist. I send them resources. As you guys can see, like going to me with an appointment is almost like a real estate crash course 101, right? I give them all these cool things. But yes, I show them the video, and then I send a text after every showing saying, hey, love showing you around. Here are some handy tools to keep our home hunt exciting and efficient. You're automatically securing them by sending this message. And then you're giving them all these cool resources. And then another cool tip is when after every showing, there should be 3 actions. Either they're going to get pre-approved, or they're going to write an offer, or there's one more appointment set up, right? So one big deal is you never go show a house and then just say, awesome, it was nice meeting you. Let me know if you need any more help in the future. That's the worst thing to do. When you first finish with an appointment, you go ahead and ask for 1 of 3 things. Are we going to write an offer? Are we going to get pre-approved? Or are you available next weekend for more showings? You want to secure the appointment, so they don't meet anyone else and make an appointment. For example, if they secure an appointment with me for next weekend, after my appointment, my consultation appointment, most likely if someone says, hey, do you want to see some more homes tomorrow? They're going to say, oh, babe, well, we already have one with Charlie next weekend. Let's just send him the homes. When you have an appointment secured, you created a commitment between you and the buyer. Naturally, it's in the air. It's a commitment in the air. So now if someone else wants to make an appointment, they already have one with you. There's a contemplation now. But if you don't do that, most likely if someone else asks for an appointment, they're gonna say, "Oh, babe, why not? We already, well, yeah, let's go ahead and see what this guy's about," right? So that's one big factor. But yes, Charis, to answer your question, I show them. I know I just keep rambling, but I show them, and then I go ahead and send it. But after every appointment, I have one of three things that has to happen, and that's those three things: either get pre-approved, make a different appointment, or write an offer on that house. Okay.
I'm curious also. Sorry, I know we'll open up for Q&A. I want to be
Yeah.
selfish and ask my questions really quick.
No, go ahead.
I'm curious because now after the NAR settlement, we have to have a buyer broker agreement signed before showing houses. So have you already like created a script or have you already decided on how you're going to talk to the buyers?
Very easy. I never use it. I never use the words agreement. It's an exclusive agreement. What I say is on the phone, for example, hey, buyer, you want to go ahead and see 123 Main Street? No problem. As I don't know if you know this or not, there's a big lawsuit that happened recently that was just settled. And by law now, we cannot enter without a permission slip. I have to send you a permission slip for us to have permission and enter this property because we have to send this permission slip to the seller to let us in. Do you mind if I go ahead and email that to you? Is that okay? Yeah, no problem. Okay, sounds good. And then you go ahead and send the single property agreement from EXP, which is public to everyone. And then when you get there, you can have the exclusive agreement signed, right? Depending on how good you are, you can send the exclusive agreement from the beginning, but most of the time, um, it's a lot of pages for them to sign. So the single property agreement is a good way to start for that one property, and then go ahead and move forward with the whole exclusive agreement, right? But I don't use the word agreement. I use the word permission slip. Hey, Mr. Buyer, for us to enter this property is no problem. I have to send you a permission slip giving us permission to show you this property. There's no commitment on it at the moment, but when I do see you at the property, we'll talk about our future agreements, etc. But you use the word permission slip to make it sound simple and easy.
I like that. I like the word permission slip.
Yeah.
We have a couple of questions in the chat that we can go through. So let me see. Are all of your consultations in person?
Yes. And well, sometimes I'll do them on Google Meet, but I like to do it in person at a house because you're putting them in the setting. When you put them in the setting, it makes the consultation just go so much better. So I usually like to do it in person. I make the appointment, I send the permission slip, and then I go ahead and bring my consultation in a booklet for them to take home with the 105 ways packet, with the RPA sample, and we're good to go.
Awesome. How long do your consultations typically last?
I can go through all of this with a buyer within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's not a
Oh
huge
my
thing.
gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
but the point is, yeah, because with you guys, I'm going into depth about how to do it, right? But with the buyer, I'm just explaining things and making it easy and fast because what I tell my team is our goal is to make buying a house as easy as buying ice cream. It's a long shot, but that's how easy you want to make it sound and be, because when you make it sound that easy, most likely they're going to go with you instead of someone who's making it sound too stressful. You don't want to scare the buyer away, right? So I would
Yeah,
say 10 to
that makes
15 minutes. I show them the house, make them feel comfortable, get them in the feeling, right? When they're walking the house, it's like, oh my gosh, babe, I like that. Or, oh, look at, they're picking rooms already and the kids are running around the house. You're putting them in the setting and the feeling. Now they're kind of heightened. Their emotions are heightened. When you have the consultation, they're excited already. They're not stressed. So they started off looking at a house, getting excited, and then now your consultation comes in for 10, 15 minutes, and then you go from there.
got it. And then we also have another question. I think these two might be the same thing, but Gabe can confirm. So can you share the text template for the people who use Follow Up Boss, like the after showing template?
Yes, I have here's this. Okay. I just put it in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, it's too big. It's too big. Okay. I will send it out to the WhatsApp group chat, and then I guess Cherish and Gabe can go ahead and send it out to whoever needs it if they're not in the chat.
Okay. Perfect.
Cool.
Thank
So I'll
you.
go ahead and do that right now, actually. Do we have any more questions?
I don't think there's any more questions in the chat. Does anybody else have any other questions?
One thing I recommend everyone
Hey,
is have a, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting for you. What's up,
I
Monica?
just wanted to I just wanted to say thank you. This is honestly like amazing. There's already like a few things that I definitely want to apply to my systems, and it's really cool because like we all have our own clientele, you know, but we just want to make that conversion ratio a lot better. And I think like these things that you implement in your business are like game changer. Like just like little things that you say or do can like even just simply, I don't know why I never thought about having the consultation at the first like
Showing.
showing, or if I'm not able to do it in person. Like even that's super smart because it's a very professional setting. You're dressed to the nines because you're out showing properties. Like it's perfect. They see you. You're helping them, so they already know that they want to work with you, and then you give them even more information, and then they love you. So I just want to say thank you. This is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, here's one big thing. You guys want to meet, not just meet expectations. A lot of realtors, they just meet expectations, which is considered good, but you just want to beat expectations. Like, what more can you do for this client? And this is on the buyers section, right? There's more for sellers too. But for buyers, when you do all this stuff, you just stand out the most. And that's what you want in this competitive market, especially now with the whole NAR settlement. You have to really show your value. It's a very, very important value proposition that you have to work on. And this is now where realtors can, like within a few months, you can go back to your corporate job if you do not study and really get your career up to top-notch tier, because literally it's people are going to fall off the house. I mean, it's going to be cleaning the house. This NAR settlement is going to clean the house. So I promise you, you're going to hear your friend realtors or colleagues are going to go back to corporate jobs and part-time jobs because they're not studying, they're not learning. Like I said, doctors, lawyers, and stuff, they go to college for years and years and years before they can even operate on someone or help someone, right? You as a realtor can get paid more than a lawyer with only a 6-month education plan to get a license. But that's not the point. The people who think like that will not make it. You as a realtor have to study just like an athlete does, more than what you play, because how just because of the integrity that we have. I mean, we're people who can make more than a doctor but don't study as much. It doesn't make sense. You have to study as much as a doctor, as a realtor, to be that good in your business. So I'm perfecting your craft. And that's why I tell folks you have to beat expectations, not just meet expectations. You have to beat them to the max. You want people to say you have to use Charlie to their cousin. Don't forget, people use us as show-off medals, by the way, right? So for example, clients, when they're having family gatherings and they talk about buying a property or selling a property and realtors get brought up, they sometimes show off the realtors, right? Oh, my realtor is amazing. Like Charlie, wow, this guy is wow. The uncle, oh man, Stacy that I have, she's amazing too. But they show off the realtors because just like you would show off your attorney or you would show off your maid, or when you have someone service you, you probably haven't noticed it, but you'll show that person off regarding how much they do for you, right? Like, hey, my mentor is amazing. This guy, he teaches me this. They show it off. As a realtor, your name is being brought up in conversations at family gatherings and stuff. You want those conversations to go like, hey, you have to use Charlie, man. Charlie, this guy, I guarantee he's the best. That's how good you want to be. You want them to say stuff like that. Cool. Any other questions before we hop off?
Can we get the info for the person who made the QR video for you?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. And I recommend also going on Fiverr, because Fiverr does have a lot of freelancers too. But I'll send the people who I used. Yes, I'll send the person who I use. And I used Fiverr, by the way. It's all simple, guys. Everything is like a hand reach away. You just have to be smart enough and think enough to go that far and to research stuff like that.
We have one more question, Charlie, before we wrap up. I'm not sure if you answered this already. When you meet them in person for the consultation, do you sign a 1-day pass or is this at their home?
1-day pass. I'm guessing that you're talking about the
The
agreement.
permission? Yeah.
Yeah, so I use the permission slip. Yeah, so on the phone, I tell the buyer, hey, Mr. Buyer, no problem. I'll meet you at this property. But you do have to sign a small permission slip. It's not in my control. And if they don't understand for some reason or they give you some type of hassle, all you have to do is NAR settlement and then CNN. You just go ahead and I'm gonna click this link here, copy the link and text it to them and say, hey, I have no control. Here it is. It's a trusted site. They see here, biggest shakeup in a century set to hit the real estate agents, blah, blah, blah. And then from there, now you go ahead and gave them the reason why you have to have that permission slip signed from a trusted source like CNN, right? That's if they give you a hard time. If you tell them, hey, you have to sign this agreement, it's a permission slip for us to enter the property. And they're like, no, I don't want to sign anything. Say, hey, listen, it's not in my control. If you meet any other realtor who doesn't have you sign it before you enter, you're going into liability. You are putting yourself into liability. We, on the other hand, we have a very big integrity in the area and we do not risk our license and we have a big reputation. So you have to sign this permission slip. There's no major commitment. There's nothing crazy on this permission slip. It's only 1 page long and it's only for us to enter this property. If we choose to go ahead and view more properties, there is a bigger permission slip that we have to sign stating that you allow me to show you multiple properties. But in the meantime, I'm just going to send you this one for only this one property. And we have to do it per the NAR settlement, which I have no control over. You have no control over, Mr. Buyer. It is what it is. It's the world that we're in, and we have to sign it. Cool? Does it make sense?
Amazing.
Any more questions, guys? Take advantage of me now. I think we're good. Awesome.
I think we're good. Thank you so much, Charlie, for coming on here. We know how busy you are for sharing everything that you did. You guys, we recorded this training, so we're going to post it on the YouTube channel, and then we'll post a link to our Winner Circle chat. If you know someone who should have been on here today, make sure that you send them the link to the video once it comes out. Just give us about 24 hours at most to have that fully updated. But yes, as we mentioned in
One
the
more
very
last
beginning.
quick gem. One more last
Yes.
quick gem. If you guys have new build companies around you and you meet with a buyer who's pre-approved, make sure that you make friends with the new builders around you. All the new builders companies around you that like DR Horton, KB Home, whatever, you should go and introduce yourself, get cell phone numbers of the sales reps in there. When you meet a buyer who's pre-approved, ready to go, you automatically send a text to that salesperson and say, hey, I would like to register this client. Just in case they walk in without you, you secured yourself a check, just in case. Okay, so go make friends with the new builders because I promise you they're going to give us way more commission. They're like DR Horton in LA is offering 8% commission. That's crazy, 8%. So if your buyer buys a house with their new build, you're going to get an 8% commission. Okay, I'll send you guys the flyer. But the point is, wherever you're servicing, if there's new builders in the area, you have to go in, meet the sales reps, get cell phone numbers. They'd love to give it to you, by the way. They're very realtor friendly. And then if you meet a buyer who's pre-approved, you automatically bring up new builds first. And second, you automatically register them to every new build in the area. And the point of that is, if they ever go without you, they walk in solo. When their name is looked up, they'll see that Cherish registered them. Charlie registered them. So now you don't lose a client. I promise you, a lot of clients get lost and you lose a check because they'll go to a new build without you knowing because they're just driving by as they should. They're like, hey, babe, let's go in the car and look at this DR Horton houses. Let's not bother Charlie. Let's just go check it out real quick. Next thing you know, they fall in love with the model home. They buy it. And now you just lost a 20K plus commission check. Okay. So one more big tip before I head out is get familiar with the new builds in your area. If you have any, get phone numbers, save their phone numbers, and register every pre-approved client. As simple as sending a text. Hey, Josh from DR Horton, here's this client. Her name is Monica Singer, pre-approved for $1 million. Just in case she walks in, here's her information. Cool?
Love it. Thank you. Thank you,
All
Charlie.
right, no problem.
Excuse me. Okay, guys, we will see you next Wednesday. Sorry. I don't know what's
All right.
happening. Luckily, this happened at the end, but we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Have a good week.
Everyone
Bye.
have a good week. Make it a great
Thank
week.
you very much. Bye-bye.